New faces, same places. Welcome to Touching All Bases. There's a new face here. My name's Brian. I'm the host. At least temporary for now. We'll see for the future.
Permanently.
But we have had an exciting week. Playoff baseball is finally back. Yet somehow it doesn't have the top headline. Shockingly enough, I feel like it's the managerial carousel that has the top headline. So we're going to jump into our first segment, which is 3 to C. And the first of the three that we want to talk about, at least I want to get your guys' opinions on, is this firing and controversies over all these managers leaving, staying, and everything. So just to recap what has kind of happened in the last 7 or so days, Brian, I'm going to butcher some of these names, so I apologize if I do, but Brian Snitker, I believe, the Braves GM, he stepped down. Bruce Bochy, I think, we've been trying to debate that name over the whole thing, with the Rangers. Ron Washington with the Angels, Bob Melvin with the Giants are all gone. They're out of the job. But shockingly enough, the worst team with the biggest collapse, the Mets, and that's just because I just don't like them, Carlos Mendoza did stay. So with those managers going in and out, I just wanted to get all the panelists' idea or their thoughts on these latest moves and news. So guys, would you mind just kind of diving into your opinions on all of these different manager moves?
I'm Riley.
I'm Kaden.
I'm Katie.
I'm Jackson.
And we're the Von Trapp twins. Like, the Von Trapp family, that's where it's going.
What? Oh my gosh.
Captain Notes over here, go.
Yeah, go off.
I never go first to the first segment, and I'm not. I'm
Okay,
never first.
well,
Okay.
That's not true.
I mean, I feel like, at least for like Snitker and Bochy,
Buckeye.
Bruce.
I like Bruce. For Snitker and Bruce, I think they both did a lot for the organization. You know, Snitker brought them
No. Bruce was only there for 2 years.
and brought them a World Series championship.
True.
Their
Sure,
first
but
one ever. So I think they both did a lot for the organization in their respects, but at some point it's just not working anymore, and you got to make a change. And I think that's just natural with all managers. It doesn't last for forever.
Yeah, with both the Braves and the Rangers kind of moving on. With Snitker, I feel like it was kind of like the past 2 seasons. It was kind of like coming forward. Like I think everyone kind of saw it coming. Him stepping down in some way or another. Obviously, a lot of respect for him, what he's done like the past decade with the Braves. Gave us a World Series title. Several NLCS appearances and whatnot. But I did feel like the last 2 seasons, even though with all the injuries we still had a somewhat good ball club, and we just couldn't get it done. So. I do like the fact that he's now moving into an analyst position. I feel like his talents are still needed in the organization, but I think his time as manager has come up. And obviously, I'm not going to say that last name. Bruce for the Rangers, obviously one of the most non-entertaining World Series in the past decade. Like that Rangers Diamondbacks was so boring to watch. But they still won it though, so props to him. But clearly since then, have they been back in the playoffs since they made that World Series? Yeah, so
Diamondbacks or Rangers have not made it since.
Yeah, haven't they had like the same roster too? Like not really much of a change.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean obviously if you have basically the same roster you made a World Series with and won and can't go back to it 2 years in a row, something's obviously got to change. So with that one, I think it's kind of explanational. And then the Giants fired manager Bob Melvin. Honestly, I haven't heard much of the Giants past few years, other than the Blake Snell hire.
That random 100-win season.
Yeah, I remember that. And then,
wow. Okay. Wow.
Where have they gone since then?
Yeah. What's happened since then? Some of those other, and then the Twins, they dismissed their guy, but who cares about Minnesota Twins?
Yeah.
One of them. Which one was the one that got dismissed? Because he had a quadruple heart.
Ron Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had quadruple heart bypass surgery. Like poor guy.
I think that decision was mutual. Like he stepped down, and the Angels were it was mutual. But he didn't get fired or anything. But I would love to see Ron Washington come back to Atlanta.
Third base coach?
Third base coach, manager.
It's not.
I don't care.
It's 3.
I would love to see him back.
Not you.
I'm not at stop.
He did that after he said third base coach. That makes no sense.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, sure. Yeah, just hold on here. I'll just.
She just needs 6 to 7 minutes to do it.
Snitker said, honestly, I never thought I'd manage one day in the major leagues, let alone 10 years. So that was very sweet. I don't really know what managers do, though, and I think that their job is dumb. I just feel like they can be replaced by a spreadsheet tactically. And, like, do y'all ever hear a story of, like, yeah, this guy, we really rally behind our manager, you know, those long months, it gets really tiring and stuff, but every day hard, we go hard. This guy makes me want to run through a brick wall. Like, I never hear that from managers in baseball. I hear that about basketball coaches, football, hockey, soccer. I never hear that about baseball managers. And, yeah, I mean, like, sure, like, should this guy stay in? Should he come out? I feel like if an intern did that, teams would be fine. Like that doesn't really feel like I feel like a lot of people can do that. I don't really understand what managers do. I think their job is useless and they should make $40K a year. But Snitker is gonna be a Braves Hall of Famer, and I like Snitker. He's cool. And then the other guys, I don't really know them very well, and I think their jobs are pointless. It's a very upper management, like I make $200K, but no one really knows what you do. Office job, you know. Like, yeah, I don't really.
I like this. You know how like robo-umps were being tested in the minor leagues? I think we should start testing the minor leagues, having no managers.
Robo managers.
No managers, no base coaches, just nothing.
No base coaches. Base coaches, go, don't go. Like that matters, you know. Like,
I mean,
if I see a ball in the air, I'm running or staying. I'm just saying.
I mean, honestly, I do see a big gap between managers and coaches. Like, I feel like MLB needs coaches because, I mean, that's not their manager, and he just walked out to change the pitcher. Like,
they do.
Not even the manager's doing that. And half the time you see, whenever they make the phone call to the bullpen, it's usually not the manager. It's the pitching coach or someone else. Like, yeah, every time you pan to Brian Snitker in the dugout, he just...
Yeah.
Every time.
They just stand there like this the entire
Delegate
They do
everything.
nothing.
You don't
And
never
then,
have to work a day in your life.
I'm sorry. I'm so glad I'm never going to have to listen to a Brian Snitker press conference post-game ever again. He is the worst at post-game press conferences. Like, he doesn't even allow the question to be finished before he gives some bull answer. I mean, I like the guy. He did a lot for us, but it was time.
That is the most passion I've heard from her all season, and it's because we fired our manager.
60,
that is so
that's not, yeah, you're passionate.
Oh my god.
69 years old.
Let's get to the Boone question. Did we ask that?
Benson Boone.
No.
Aaron Boone.
No.
Oh, let's get to Boone. Yeah, Brian. Take it away.
Go to Aaron Boone. I was not
You
informed.
see it?
None of it.
Oh,
I think
it's not in the
Kaden threw next one.
screenshot.
Yes, it is. Oh, we added the Boone.
Yeah, we
question.
added it.
Wow. So
Okay, say Boone.
let's just send it back because I think
Send
it back over.
Should Boone be gone if they lose tonight or in the ALDS?
should Boone be gone if they?
Go back to Brian.
That's fine. That's fine.
Go.
All right. So as you know, we try our best staying here, and as a temporary host, I gotta find my ways to be successful. But one team that's not successful is the Yankees right now, as they're going into Game 3, having to come back after being down 1-0 to the Red Sox in New York, which is the craziest part, and to me, one of the funniest things I've ever watched. So with that all being said, Aaron Boone is the manager, the GM of the New York Yankees, or not the GM, excuse me, the head coach of the Yankees. I'm thinking football. But he is the head coach of the Yankees. What do you guys think should happen? If he loses this pivotal game in New York, with the fan base with them, with what many project is the AL MVP, and they lose to the Red Sox, do you think he stays or do you think he goes?
I'll go first.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Vincent Boone needs to go. I gave a whole thing on him last year about how he's a cheater and it's ridiculous. It's a double standard. And how he needs to be disgraced and kicked out of baseball and removed from the history books and stuff. If Barry Bonds doesn't get respect, then Vincent Boone or whatever should not get respect. Okay, backflip Boone. It's ridiculous. He's also a bad manager. Okay, play your best players in the playoffs. It's not that hard to do that. Okay, like again, it's so your job is not that hard. We just talked about that. All right, just do your job. Do what like your fans would do. Do what like the 14-year-old kid that watches a lot of Yankees games would do if he was in your position. All right, that's all you got to do. What sold me on it was when he had in Rodon, he had that shaky 6th inning. And then the 7th came in, and I saw Rodon walking out, and I was like, oh my God, Boone. When I notice a manager, it's a problem. And I was like, oh my God, Boone has to go. So this is ridiculous. This might be the 2nd or 3rd time in Touching All Bases history where a thing that I noticed watching baseball came up in the script. And that's how you know that it's a very obvious issue that Vincent Boone needs to go. So I'm buying for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask pretty much any Yankees fan, they hate the guy. They can't stand the guy. I mean, brought him to the World Series, laid a complete egg in the World Series last year. Couldn't manage the bullpen, couldn't manage his lineup, sat Jazz game 1 for no reason. And then, I mean, you just got to remember Game 1 of the World Series last year brings in Nestor Cortez. Hasn't pitched all playoffs for Freddie Freeman, who was a very good left-handed pitcher. Wait. Left. He hits lefties fantastic. So, yes, let's bring in Nestor Cortez, and we all know what happened after that.
That might be the dumbest
It almost
thing I've ever seen.
seems like sometimes he uses like reverse psychology. He's like, this seems like the worst possible choice, so why don't I make it?
There's a Seinfeld, George Costanza?
Okay.
George Costanza has a whole thing in like betting and like throughout the series where he's like, if every instinct you have tells you to do something, do the opposite. Like he believes a lot in jinxing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's what
yeah.
Vincent Boone believes.
Wait, I have a
That's
question.
what
Did Ryan Day get fired from Ohio
No,
State?
he's still at Ohio State.
Oh, he is.
He
Okay.
won a national championship.
I was gonna argue, like, if you keep losing to Michigan, your rival, if the Yankees lost so much to the Red Sox this year, like rivalry, you can't lose to your rival that much, and I was just gonna make that comparison. Like,
I want
That
to
is
be
gonna
for real
kill
and say they should have still fired Ryan Day after winning the championship. I was like, he didn't beat Michigan, but yeah, that's
Okay.
Well, anyways,
touching bases, not gridirons.
it's probably pretty obvious how I feel, but I said bye. As in bye-bye, Aaron Boone. Yeah, I think he's been their manager for so long and still does not have a World Series with them. And I think, that at this point, it's been long enough, like something needs to change.
Yeah, I'm definitely stealing a little bit from Katie's idea here. I'm adding my own spin to it. We obviously know the phrase, bye-bye ball in baseball. I say bye-bye Boone. If he loses against the Red Sox, I'm literally going to kill myself. I had them winning the World Series last year in the spring. So right now they're in the playoffs. That's keeping me alive. I have done nothing right in fantasy football nor predictions. I need this one. Riley, stay quiet. I need this one thing to go right, and if they win it all, I'm going to be just
You're not
ecstatic.
really good at knowing sports or talking about it.
Hey, listen. I'm doing okay so far. So far, the Yankees are in the playoffs. Okay, so far they're still there. The Red Sox, please lay an egg. But other than that,
Oh.
they're still there. Okay, they're still there.
I need my second favorite team to do something.
No, you
I
don't.
want the Red Sox.
No, you
Because your
don't.
favorite team didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm the same
I
way.
need Alex
Blue
Bregman to break a
Jays
leg.
because of the.
We're all the same.
I need Bregman to break a leg.
Break a leg.
Okay.
Back to
Now to you, Brian.
Trying to tell the production team back there. No, it's fine. But no, like I was saying, I was like, the most interesting race to me, or at least the manager position that's open, is the Baltimore Orioles. That's not even one we talked about. Tony Mansolino? I don't know. I don't remember how to pronounce last names. I just know how to read them.
cares?
And that is the fact that he's an interim, and they might be looking for one spot as well. But we're going to stick with playoffs because that's the most interesting part, and no one really cares about the Orioles because they didn't make it. So we're going to move into a really touted game coming up. I mean, all of these are going to be really good, but this is one that's interesting for me because I just absolutely love this rivalry anyway, and it's the Dodgers and Phillies. Now, Dodgers swept the Cincinnati Reds, who took the game from the Mets because we always like throwing shade at the Mets. But with the Reds, they blew them out 10-5 first game, 8-4 second game, and then now they move on to go to Philadelphia to face off against the second best team in the NL record-wise. So the interesting thing to me is that it does look like Shohei Ohtani will be starting at least one of these games.
He's starting Saturday.
Starting Saturday. Thank you. I knew it was on the script. I didn't know which one it was. But he is starting Saturday, and while his win-loss record hasn't looked great, he was 0-3 in his last three, his actual statistics were much better. In those last three starts, even though he did lose 0-3, he gave up 0 earned runs, only 2 walks, had only 8 hits in 14 innings pitched, nearly 15 innings pitched, and had 18 strikeouts. Now, on the year, he was 5 for 9 in 14 starts, and had a total of 62 strikeouts in 47 innings pitched with 15 earned runs, 9 walks, and 40 hits. Now, all of that to say, how do you guys feel about Shohei Ohtani pitching? Do you think he's going to start out well, especially in this environment, in a Philadelphia environment? And on top of that, who do you have coming out of this 5-game series?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about Ohtani starting Saturday just because this will be his first playoff.
Yeah.
His first one.
Like
And-
pitching.
Yeah, and I don't know, he didn't really wow me during the regular season on the mound, but of course, I mean, he's looked great at the plate these past 2 games against the Reds, but then again, it is the Reds. But the Phillies do have Sanchez starting Saturday, not their best pitcher, not their strongest. I do think this will probably be the best series of the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This, like, it's a shame it's the NLDS, but I think whoever wins this series will go to the World Series. And I say go Dodgers. I bleed blue.
This is, in my personal opinion, the worst possible series.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to choose either of them to
like,
win.
this is horrible. So would you rather get punched in the face or kicked in the balls? Like I hate this so much. It's terrible. I hate both of these teams, and I go back and forth because I don't like the Phillies because they're in my division and they're successful, and that's just always annoying in any sport. The Dodgers, the hate is a little different though, because like I love Ohtani. I think he's the best player in the history of baseball, and I want to be able to watch something this rare and enjoy it because like my grandkids are going to ask about Ohtani, and I'm going to say every time I watch them play, I wish he struck out, and that's an annoying thing to have to do. When Freddie Freeman, it's my favorite player in baseball, and so it's doing the same thing. When Freddie steps up to the plate, I don't want him to do well. Like when he hit the home run in Game 1, I was happy because like it got me and stuff. But I want Freddie to strike out when he steps up because I just don't like the Dodgers. Mookie Betts started his career in Greenville. I'm from Greenville. When I was a kid going to Greenville Drives games, they did the whole like my elementary school. Like if you read 2 books or say you read 2 books, you go to a Greenville Drive game or whatever and stuff. And Mookie Betts played for them. That's cool. Whenever Mookie Betts goes, I want them to strike out. So I drew a picture for my prediction of me outside. That's the sun. I'm not a great artist and stuff, but that's what I'll be doing during this series. I don't want to watch any of it. It's annoying.
Who are those little kids? I mean,
Who are the little kids?
These are full-size people. I just had to scale my height somehow, so I drew that real quick and stuff too. So yeah, I'm not gonna be watching this game. I'm gonna be outside. I'll probably just be like on my phone inside or something, or doing something. But I'm not watching this game. I would rather do anything, or any of these games. And I guess I'd rather the Dodgers win.
Yeah, you do.
I'd rather get kicked in the balls because ball issues don't matter if your face is messed up. So that's my answer.
I mean, like we've all said, I'm looking forward to this series because I think it will be the best series as far as baseball goes. But as far as having to root for a team, I don't want to root for either of them. I think if I have to choose, though, I'm going to choose the Dodgers. I don't like the Phillies. Do I really have a good reason why? No, they're not in my division. Astros beat them in the World Series, so I should like them for that reason. But anyways, I don't like the Dodgers just because of, they use their money to, be able to buy all the players and, be better than every team. But I think because of that, they also have a lot more players that I truly care about. So I think for that reason, I'll be rooting for the Dodgers.
Yeah, so unlike Kaden, I won't be in a field with a bunch of small people. I'll actually be watching this game.
Compared to my height, it's like 5'9", 5'11",
Sure.
6 foot.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Anyway, I will be watching this series. I don't really much have a dog in this fight other than Freddie Freeman. That's about my only dog I have in this fight. But let's be real. Whoever got that last wild card spot in the NL, we knew they were getting bounced out, in the wild card. We knew they were gone quickly.
I wanted the Reds to win the World Series.
Me too. It would have been funny.
No one has ever said that.
They look terrible.
I have more on that.
No, I know, but it just would have been so funny.
But if the game was 7, they would have beaten.
They played the Dodgers and looked like the Nationals. Okay, that did not go well.
Nationals won a World Series, and they weren't that good.
Against who? Astros.
Yes.
But-
That's just a stepping stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be the Astros in the World Series.
Not the Phillies.
Hey, yeah! Hell yeah!
Yeah,
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, no, anyway, I hope the Dodgers win it. I can't stand the Phillies with anything in me. I honestly feel like this series is more going to be after the Phillies because they've blown it in the playoffs like the past 3 years. They've had a great spot every single year, and they made a one deep run a few years ago for the NLCS and then blew it again. So I think this is more.
They weren't in a great spot that year. They were 16.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Did
but
I was just proud to know that.
Did
Sorry,
they not
interrupted
lose
you.
to the Dodgers in the divisional last year?
I think no. Wait, no. Was that the Padres they played?
No, I thought it went Dodgers played Phillies, then Mets, then
We'll cut
the
this
World
out.
Series.
No, I think they played the Padres. Dodgers played the Padres. I'm convinced.
Last year?
Dodgers played the Padres.
Yeah.
The Dodgers beat
Yeah,
the Padres.
last year the Dodgers beat the
Yeah.
Padres.
I remember
Dodgers played the
having
I'm
Padres.
saying that was the best series.
Yeah, Dodgers played the Padres, and everybody said it.
Mets
should've
played
been
the
World
Phillies.
Yeah, Mets played the Phillies, and the Mets beat them.
When I had to root for the Phillies.
Ugh. But anyway, I got the Phillies winning that series. I got the Dodgers winning the series. I think the Phillies will inevitably blow it again. They're just not a great playoff team, in my opinion. Great regular season, but they tend to blow it in the playoffs when it matters most. I think that will be the case again. I got the Dodgers taking the series. I think it'll go to Game 5, but I think the Dodgers will end up taking it.
Ooh, I almost just embarrassed myself and said I had Dodgers in 6. It's a 5.
Ooh.
Okay, then yeah, I do think it'll go to 5. I'm really scared of the Dodgers bullpen. Their bullpen blows. I hate their bullpen. And at Citizens Bank Park, it won't look good.
So I'm confused because I know you don't like the Dodgers, but you're rooting for them. When you say you're scared that it's going to be bad, or you're scared like they're going to be good?
No, I'm scared they're going to be bad.
Okay.
I need them to
Just
win.
to clarify.
Everyone on this panel is scared the Phillies might actually have a shot to make the World Series this year. That's the fear.
Yeah, I do think
It's Blue Jays or Phillies.
Next.
Yeah, please next.
So if I get this right, you all picked the Dodgers, right?
Yep.
Correct.
So it was a sweep, just like the Dodgers' first round in the wild card, right?
Yep.
They swept the Reds. Well, there were
Clearly
three
know your
teams.
stuff, Brian.
Cut off on I had a good transition lined up, and you cut
sorry.
it off.
Okay, I know that's frustrating.
Let me restart. So you all picked the Dodgers, right? That was a sweep. Cool. Is the only
Yeah.
team swept, as there were 3 other games that went into a game 3 that are playing right now. You have the Tigers and Guardians. Will probably be done by now because it's top of the 9th, 6-3 Tigers. So they are winning. I think Kaden, you were rooting for the Tigers, right?
Yes.
You wanted the Tigers to win. So yeah, they're up right now, 6-3, top of the 9th in Cleveland. But the other 2 games just started, or actually one starting later tonight at 8, but the other one just started there in the second inning. The one that's going on right now, Padres-Cubs. The Cubs are up currently 2-0. Red Sox-Yankees play later. So with these 2 games that are left, who do you guys think is going to take home, or at least punch their ticket to the actual playoffs, not just the wild card, get out of the wild card? Do you think it's going to be Cubs or Padres? And then do you think the Red Sox or Yankees? Who do you guys looking to win? Who do you think will win?
I think the Padres are cooked. They just took out Yu Darvish in the second inning. Just have to go to their bullpen. And then Cubs home field advantage. Wrigley Field is going crazy right now. I'm literally watching it. So, yeah. Go Cubs, go!
Teams have a losing record in winner-take-all games at home in the history of baseball. So you're wrong.
And this is also the first time there's been 3 Game 3s in the wild
The
card.
Padres are the first team in wild card series play to force a Game 3 after losing a Game 1 on the road, and this is also the first time that there's been 3 Game 3s in wild card series play. As I said first, I think the Padres are going to win.
Okay.
I'm going with the Cubs and the Red Sox.
Red Sox. Go
Oh,
Red
yeah, them
Sox.
too.
Mostly Red Sox
Yeah,
are my
them too.
second favorite team. I have to root for them. Alex Bregman, of course, now plays for them. And then same thing for the Cubs. Kyle Tucker and Ryan Presley. Got to root for them. And I just think, I don't know. I think they're the better teams. So hopefully they'll come out on top.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak long about the Sox and the Yankees. Obviously, I know where my heart lies in the Yankees. Cubs and Padres, I am feeling a little 2016-ish with the Cubs right now. I really hope they make a deep playoff run. I think it'd be great to see the Cubs at least in the NLCS. Maybe not the World Series, but let alone them making it to the NLCS, I think would be amazing. I do think that they'll end up beating the Padres just because the Padres are a younger team compared to the Cubs, and the Cubs went all in free agency over the offseason. I think that free agency push is what's going to move them all the way to a win against the Padres.
I already talked.
What are you laughing about?
Yeah, what are you laughing
I'm not
about?
laughing at anything.
You exhale.
I was thinking
exhale out
I
of
accepted
your
my nose. I was thinking about something funny.
All right,
Sorry,
Brian.
that's not very professional of me.
Brian.
Man, our production team is not on it tonight.
Hey,
Grant!
Grant!
God!
3 buttons.
Come on!
Well, I don't even have a transition for that, man. You just set me up for failure. Either way, so we're going into our next topic. That was the last of the 3 to see. So we're going into the last one for buy or sell, which I guess Kaden kind of showed it earlier when we talked about the Boone. What goes you put buy, but so there's foreshadowing for sure. So the first one on here is that the MLB shouldn't have expanded the playoff teams from 10 to 12. Now, if no one really remembers or has a short-term memory, they expanded the teams to 12 teams in total in the playoffs in 2022. So the question to that is, do you buy or sell that they should not have expanded the total playoff teams to 12?
I'm not going to spoil anything, but I knew it, and I know exactly how this conversation is about to go. But I'm absolutely selling. I'm passionately selling. I'm very passionate about both these buy or sells. I'm very excited. I hope to make Riley late to her class today with these buy or sells. If you're going to be in a league where all the most expensive players go to 6 teams, all the coverage, all the talk, all the hype, and all the opportunity goes to 6 teams, then at least give some teams a fighting chance to compete. It's great handwriting. At least give some teams a fighting chance to compete in the MLB. It kind of reminds me of college football. I have a lot of problems with the NIL and transfer portal. I will say one thing that it's done good for college football is it's given more teams a chance to compete. I feel like those years of like Clemson, Alabama, and Alabama, Georgia, like Oklahoma would be in the playoffs, a weaker Ohio State at some years. Michigan State was there one year. Like those Oklahoma teams that made the playoffs every single year, I feel like there's 14 teams this year that have a better chance than they did to win the national championship. And opening it up for that, it feels similar in baseball where it's like if there's so few teams that actually look good and look competitive, then make some best of 3 series that can knock out some of these elite teams and give some kind of chance if you're a Reds fan or a Diamondbacks fan or a whatever fan. Phillies 3 years ago and stuff fan. Mets last year. Like if you're a fan of one of those teams, at least have them be able to watch the season, have a fighting chance at maybe making the playoffs. And the last point I'll make, in 2020, so last 3 seasons of this history of this expanded playoffs in the NL, the 6th seed, these last 3 seasons. In 2022, the Phillies went from barely qualifying for the playoffs to playing in the World Series. In 2023, the Diamondbacks upset the Brewers, Dodgers, and Phillies. And then last year, the Mets had a magical run. So this year, obviously, the Reds, I believe, were the 6th seed in the NL. It didn't go that way, but that 6th seed has proven their ability to do something in the playoffs and shake up and change baseball history. So I would absolutely buy. Sell. I have no clue why anyone would buy it, but I know exactly what I'm
So
buy.
I'm gonna go ahead and buy that right now. I'm just gonna use no one. How do I word this?
No one wants to watch 90% of baseball teams.
So it's just annoying whenever I'm gonna start off with the Reds. They won 83 games. They barely squeak into the playoffs, and they get absolutely bulldozed by the Dodgers. Who wants to watch that, in my opinion? Not me. And then with the Phillies in 22, barely squeaking in and then making it to the World Series. I hate that because it's the Phillies, 1, and 2, that's a big market, and they shouldn't have had the opportunity. If they didn't perform in the regular season, they shouldn't have had the opportunity to make it to the World Series, in my opinion. Same with the Mets last year, NLCS. Shouldn't have been able to do that. And then also, whenever a small market team is able to get that 6th seed and take it to the World Series, like the Diamondbacks, like the Rangers, it gives us the most boring World Series of all time.
But that's the fans' fault. Do you get mad when Loyal Chicago upsets in March Madness? Like when a 1 seed loses in March Madness? When a 1 seed loses in March Madness, do you get mad?
This isn't basketball.
Because I think it's just because of the fans.
It's just no,
I think
it's
basketball
not.
fans like excitement and runs and upsets and underdogs.
Sure,
and
but it's a
baseball
completely different sport.
Baseball likes 4 teams with the best players
No.
playing every single year.
No.
I'm going to lightly sell this. I think overall, I enjoy the expanded playoffs just because it gives that many more fans a reason to be invested in the playoffs. I feel like, I don't know, the NFL is one of those things, like people are watching NFL playoffs no matter what. I feel like with the MLB, your diehard MLB fans are of course going to watch the MLB playoffs no matter what, but there's a lot of fans out there that just aren't going to care to watch the playoffs unless their team is a part of it. So I think it brings more viewership to the playoffs and to baseball in general, which I do enjoy. But then also, as Riley was saying, there are sometimes those, outliers of people that like squeak in and then they just make really bad games and really bad TV, which can also turn off viewers from baseball. So I think there's pros and cons, but I think overall the pros outweigh the cons, and I enjoy allowing more teams in the playoffs just to make it that much more exciting for more fans.
Yeah, I'm going to go sell on this. I love it when a team comes out of absolutely nowhere, barely gets in the playoffs in the regular season, and somehow makes it to just like any championship game in any playoff series format. Listen, I hate the Phillies to death. I will be the first person to say that. But did I think it was kind of crazy that they made the World Series a few years ago? Yes, I think it's crazy when the last seed in the wild card manages to make it to a World Series spot. And obviously the Rangers Diamondbacks a few years ago, the Mets last year. I hate both those teams. Those are horrible examples for me. But it was still fun to watch them try to go all that way after being average to mid in the regular season. I mean, honestly, like this 6th wild card, it kind of gives me a feeling of like the Giants when they won their 2 Super Bowls, when they were like average in the NFL and all of a sudden Eli Manning went crazy. I like that type of vibe when just a team out of nowhere, like the Marlins had a chance to make the playoffs in the last 4.
Another great example of terrible.
That is why that's great. Just because it's an NL East opponent
And
of
what
Riley's,
happened to
it's
them?
fine. She doesn't like
They
it.
got crushed. Boring.
Hey, they got crushed, but they could have made
Boring.
it.
And they're
Listen, if the Reds would have upset the Dodgers, would we be talking about them this week?
Yes,
Yeah.
it'd be awesome.
But that was
That'd be
so
incredible.
unlikely. It's just
It's so unlikely.
It's not that unlikely though because it's baseball.
three-
Listen,
It's
listen.
baseball.
It might
put
seem
the
so.
Reds up against the
But
best team
how
in the
it was
league.
so unlikely.
Riley, what did you say about the Mets last year?
2023. How likely was it that the Diamondbacks would win the World
What'd
Series?
you say about the
your
Mets
point?
last year?
Baseball.
What's your point?
This is just, it's the amount of times that you've seen the Athletics blow the Astros out, like even a few years back when the Astros were way better than they are now, is insane. It happens. It's baseball. So I think in the respect it's kind of fun if the Reds come in. I don't, if I had to predict it, obviously I'm going to choose the Dodgers, but I don't think it's a crazy prediction to think that the Reds could beat the Dodgers in a 3-game series.
Listen,
see
I
the
think that
last-
if the final wild card spot for majority of its lifespan hasn't been an NL East opponent, I think Riley would love this.
I actually fully agree.
But it's
I think
literally just been
if
the Mets and the Phillies make a deep playoff
If the Mets and
run.
Phillies were like fun teams that she enjoyed, this would be a completely different take. But no, genuinely, I just think that I lost my train of thought. It's terrible, but I really want to say what I have to say.
But, it allows Cinderella stories.
It allows Cinderella stories, and Cinderella stories are a great thing. And I got it. I think that, and maybe this is just me caring less about the sport of baseball and the league than I would say y'all do. But I don't care as much about the warm weather, conditional fans that are only fans if it's a big game. If you're a super fan of your team, I want there to be as many diehard fans to be able to feel that their team has a chance. So I think as you open it up, there are Reds fans out there somewhere. There are Tigers fans out there somewhere. And I think this playoff format allows for there to be more fans of middle-class, mid-level teams, because I think there's a lot of people that are like, why would I even be a fan of this team? All of the best players are going to the bigger markets. We're never going to make the playoffs. This just gives a sliver of more opportunity to be like, hey, I'm a Brewer. The Brewers are good. I'm a Reds fan. I'm a Diamondbacks fan. But look at what the Diamondbacks did just a couple years ago. Maybe I have a fighting chance.
Maybe perform a little bit better in the regular season and get that 5th seed.
Okay, she's just a little salty. Let's go to the next spot.
Let's make it worse.
I don't think this is going to
Well-
help her be any less salty.
Personally,
She said she's going to be happy. She said she's going to be smiling about this segment.
I don't care.
It's
golly. I was like, cameras are on me. I'm just sitting here looking at the camera. Personally, I would probably sell that statement as well. I would, because I enjoy having the expanded playoffs. I enjoy having a lot more Cinderella stories. It feeds in more marketing. But
Yes,
one team that would
we
probably
love the Rangers Diamondbacks World Series. That was so
I did
fun
like
to
that.
oh my
watch.
gosh,
like that.
salty.
So fun. to
just switch it back. They're talking. Just let them talk. Yeah.
Go back to Brian.
I had another great transition set up, and you guys just
That was good.
That was a good one, Brian.
I said I would buy it, but one team that probably wouldn't buy it and instead hoped that they expanded it to 14 teams would have been the Mets because they fell 1 game short. It was good, but now it just is in the trash. Just throw it out there with the Mets as well. So what I'm looking for is that the Mets started their season 45-24. They were the number 1 team in the NL, and then dropped 38-55, having only a better record than the White Sox. I had this pulled up. I got to remember. It's the White Sox, the Nationals, the Twins, and the Rockies. Those are the only 4 teams that had a worse record in their final 93 games than the Mets. And the Mets missed the playoffs. They choked. You can't really explain any better way than that. And so my question to you guys is that if the Mets had not choked their last game, which they lost 4-0 to the Marlins, got shut out in Miami, if they didn't choke that last game and they made it to play the Dodgers, would they have suffered the same fate as the Dodgers? Do you buy or sell that statement? Or as the Reds, excuse me.
Who wants to go first?
You know what?
Riley?
Go first.
Go ahead.
It's just an easy buy. I mean, I've reiterated the same sentence probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, but Mets terrible baseball team, horrible team, as Brian said, better than the 4 worst teams I've ever seen in my entire life in the last 93 games. And I just know, Dodgers starting pitching would have carved them up. Their top 3 hitters, Soto, Lindor, and Alonso, wouldn't have done anything against Yamamoto and Snell like the Reds. And I know that the Dodgers would have ran up the score and Juan Soto would have hit that signature solo home run in the 7th inning to make it 10-1. I already know that would have happened. Take it away.
Who cares? I'm rolling my eyes. I don't care. Yes, you know what? They would have won the World Series if they made it in. I'm so sick and tired of talking about the Mets, and I don't understand why they keep. I understand why they keep coming up, but I don't know. 2 people make a script, and I think the Mets should come up less in this thing because
Well, we'll know.
I don't understand.
Someone's a little
I don't
angry.
understand.
It's been over. It's
I don't
over.
understand your Mets hatred because I'll hate watch a team, but when the team is bad, I'm happy. And when the team is good, I'm annoyed. I feel like when the team, the better the Mets are, the more passionately you're yelling that they suck. And then when they're bad, you're just like,
No.
you're still pissed off. You're still, you're not. Just,
It's when the
there's
team.
no positiveness.
It's when the team spends $350 million.
That's awesome. That would make me really happy. Like that. I'm very happy that
well,
this
it's
happened.
because if the Mets do
The
something
Mets
good, she would be mad. But if they also do something bad, she would
just
be
gets
mad.
mad that they're, like-
She's just mad no matter what.
The Mets have, that's what
She
I'm saying.
just hates
have
the
brought
Mets no matter what they're
The Mets have brought me
doing.
more joy than the Braves
I think
this
she hates
season. And I feel like
everything, no
most
matter
Braves
what
fans
they
would
do.
say that. The Mets have brought me more joy than
No.
the Braves this season.
By
For sure.
losing?
Yes, because the Mets have spent so much money and they sucked. And it's
Yeah.
like, yay.
Yeah.
The Mets suck.
Okay,
Oh
never
my God,
mind.
look at that. That makes me feel better, even though the Braves are worse. Like, yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. I'm sick of complaining about the Mets because I don't care. I want the Mets to be a harmless team that doesn't piss me off. You know, like as a Clemson fan, I hate that like Georgia Tech might be like a big old rival for the next few years. I might hate Georgia Tech because usually growing up, I never cared about Georgia Tech. I never cared about Syracuse or Wake Forest or Louisville most of the time
you
for Lamar
cared about
Jackson. Like
Syracuse.
I never cared about any of these teams. We always just beat them. That's how the Mets should be. And yeah, they're not that good. They're not that relevant. I don't know why we're talking about them. So I don't like that it's on the script, and I blame you. And I'm selling Riley's say in the script.
I just put it on the script because they had a historical fall off and choked a historical wild card lead, and so I just wanted to mention that for the last.
I think we should.
Yeah, who would have thought that was going to pop
the
up?
transition into
For
the
3 weeks.
regular season to the first week of the
We should
playoffs. Just wanted to.
Hey,
mention
how about you
this.
make the script next week?
Recall Riley Morgan. I thought I made a pretty good script when y'all backed out.
Recall.
Riley, I'm about to
thought
say
I made a
another
decent
fun thing to
script.
know is that the Mets spent $700 and I believe it was $24 million. The Reds beat them and they spent $200 million less in
That's
their
incredible.
roster.
That's
We
what
should
I'm
talk about
talking
the
Well,
Reds.
dang.
That's why I had that on the script.
I'm gonna go ahead and sell. Same fate, no. Similar fate, yes. I think the Mets, overall, the team has more playoff experience, so I don't think they would be out after the first 2 games. Do I think they would lose in 3 games? Probably, but I don't think it would be quite as abysmal as the Reds' fate.
Okay, I'm going by. Honestly, I think Katie's thing was just she was just happy with the way that looked, so she didn't erase it. The Mets, the entire. Yeah, you can go ahead and put that up. Yeah, the Mets this entire season, I said it since they were the best team in baseball at one point, which was not true. I said it all season long. They were going to choke somehow, choke some way, choke in the playoffs, choke before the season. As it came closer to the final wild card spot, they started to slowly and painfully slip away. I honestly don't know what's worse, a Jets fan right now or a Mets fan. I really don't know which one's worse.
Or Giants.
But
Jets mentioned that.
Giants at least got a competent quarterback. Jets have to deal with Justin Fields at 0-4, so it could be worse. But anyway, I'm going by on this. The Reds and the Mets honestly feel like the same team, even though the Mets spent a lot more money, like you heard from Brian, on their team. But yeah, no, the Dodgers playing the Mets, that would have been the saddest wild card series. I think even more pathetic than the Reds and Dodgers because everyone expected the Dodgers to beat the brakes off the Reds. The Mets at least had a chance. Oh, thank you, Katie. The Mets at least had a competent chance to say at least they have playoff experience and they made a push last year. But that series would have honestly been more sad and more pathetic. And honestly, the biggest thing is Alonso leaving. We all said he probably should have done that last year. But obviously, he stayed another season. Obviously, that has backfired drastically for him. Because here's the thing. Does that hurt his stock now?
What?
Alonso, does that hit his chances of being on a better team, do you think?
Him opting out?
Yeah, him opting
He
out.
opted out in 2023 of a 7-year, $157 million deal, and he's made $50 million in the last 2 years since. So he needs 5 for 100 to make that deal worth it.
Yeah, so do you think this hurts him
Yeah, worth it.
more than the
I think he's absolutely getting 5 for 107, which means it was the right decision for him to opt out. He's also not a great team. Yeah. I drew a graph of the Mets these past 2 seasons. This is how they've done.
That's honestly
They
accurate.
started off pretty bad at the beginning of last season, and then they had this magical, historic run late and made it really far in the playoffs. And then they started the season really good.
Kaden,
outlining it in case
point
you
the
can't
board
see it.
down.
I'm outlining in case you can't see it. There we go. Started bad, and then they played a historic run late, made it deep in the playoffs. Started the season with Juan Soto, had a good start, and then they fell apart, and now that's them now. This is you can Fangraphs can steal this if you want to. This is my graph for the Mets in the last 2 seasons.
No,
The middle part is just October 2024.
honestly, I really do hope Alonso goes back to the Mets because he's not that good of a player in my opinion. So going back to the Mets would be good for me. I mean, Mets fans would probably rejoice, but I would also.
Honestly, if he just signed with us and decided to become a DH, because there's a lot.
No.
There's a lot of saying that we're gonna let. Okay, listen. There's a lot of things saying.
good.
There's a lot of things saying we might get rid of Ozuna. He might be gone this year.
He's
Yeah.
gone.
Why?
Okay.
So
I like him.
Yeah, if Ozuna's gone, I at least want somewhat of a
Okay.
reliable bat in Alonso.
Oh, that's fair.
if Alonso's on my team, I'm booing him every single at bat at home.
This is just straight up Mets hate right
Pete
here.
Alonso. If I have a list
You'd
of
be
my
a
most
fan
hated
by
players.
game 3.
Pete Alonso is the top of my list. Probably Alonso, Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, top 3 most hated players of all time.
Just Mets and Phillies members, by the way.
Yep.
This segment could have been Ben Rice hit a home run, but let's talk about the Mets instead. Let's talk about the
Yeah,
Mets
our boy
instead.
did it.
Yeah.
Ben
All
Rice.
right. Yeah, but whatever.
All right, Brian.
But that segment, I feel like this show could have just been called "Hating on the Mets" because I just think that's all we did, which is funny.
Punching one base. The name of this show.
Punching one base. That is all for our show. So thank you guys all for tuning in if you stayed this long. Thank you for Kaden, Riley, Katie, and Jackson for sticking with it, for sharing your thoughts, sharing your opinions as always. Thank you for the production crew. From first to home, we cover it all and everything else in between. So just keep on watching, keep on swinging, keep on running, and we'll catch you next week on Touching All Bases.